Hi, this is Lynn Adams, and I'm going to be talking about my final project, Unraveling the Mystery of the Unspoken, Life Lessons from Disney Pixar's WALL-E. This is my 3-year-old son, CJ. He is still largely nonverbal. He communicates with us through signs and his now over 50-word basic vocabulary. He has a significant language delay. Over the course of a typical day, CJ expends a lot of mental and physical energy. Not only is he experiencing all the trials and tribulations of being 3, he's also faced with the extra challenge of not being able to always communicate effectively. So at the end of the day, as we're getting ready to eat dinner, my husband and I often play one of his animated Disney movies to help calm him and kind of give him a chance to decompress and chill out. One that kept being very successful and repeatedly used was the 2008 film WALL-E. In a nutshell, WALL-E is a story set several hundred years in the future, at a time when we have destroyed the planet and left robots to clean up the mess while the human race travels on a luxury spaceship. His whole life changes when he meets a search robot named Eve. Most of this movie contains no actual dialogue. As we started to really watch a lot of this movie, a couple things occurred to me. Was the reason my son liked WALL-E in particular because of its nonverbal nature? Was it easier for him to take in and decompress from the day without the added dialogue? And second, upon many viewings, I started to really pay attention to the film and began to realize that through this animated children's movie, Pixar animators were really communicating some rich and complex content. So I started to keep track of all the life lessons or deeper messages I found myself identifying from the movie. I discovered I had identified over 15 general life lessons, all conveyed with little or no dialogue. But so what? So through talking about and thinking about storytelling and digital authorship, I began to have this idea. Use WALL-E as a teaching tool about interpreting nonverbal media messages, and in doing so, help students become more aware of all the nonverbal messages we create and encounter in our daily lives. The 2 main learning outcomes for students were to identify emotional nuances within the media we create and consume, and to identify nonverbal messages and meanings within other media or personal experiences we encounter. In developing a more critical interpretation as media consumers will help students make better decisions about what is important, how meaning is structured, about the stories we tell with the messages we create and consume, and how communication with and understanding of others can be improved. The intended audience was upper, middle, and high school students. As far as research, not much out there really focused on exactly what I was working on. Why focused on video? That came from Create to Learn. Video's superiority comes from its ability to combine so many forms of expression, using language, image, and sound to engage the viewer and actively advance their knowledge, inspire deep feelings, and even alter their behaviors. More than 50% of our cortex or brain surface is devoted to processing visual information. Understanding vision and how it works may connect significantly to understanding how the whole brain works. I also found an article by a professor out of the University of Florence in Italy discussing how color and moving images in digital media play a very significant role in attracting and holding a viewer's attention, and also as a method for eliciting emotion. I even found a lesson on using clips from the show Seinfeld, both with and without sound, in order to analyze what is being conveyed through gestures, facial expressions, and other interpersonal actions. And while this sounds great, it still relies heavily on the dialogue to fully construct meaning, and it's not animated. So I finally found the Mills and Unsworth article. It discussed how teaching the language of emotions is critical because students' ability to express their own emotions through speech, writing, and other modes has been associated with sustained academic and social achievement, and the incapacity to represent and read emotions has been linked to poor social outcomes. We're exposed to multimodal texts all day, every day. We need to be able to interpret and represent emotions multimodally. Exploring animation is an effective vehicle for better understanding emotions. Digital imagery is so accessible and easy to create and alter. It is important for young adults to become more proficient at the grammar of visual images. As we learn to communicate throughout our lives, we are engaged in multimodal practices, and nonverbal language is a precursor to speech in human development and socialization. Mills and Unsworth found that after guiding students through creating their own iPad animations to create a multimodal visual narrative, students were creating a frame-by-frame sequence of nonverbal language and images to tell a story. So, with all that I have talked about today, I wanted to leave you with a favorite quote of mine from the research I performed. Animation is not simply the act of creating drawings that move, but the art of creating drawings that move the emotions. Thank you so much for watching.